Hi, my name is Jonathan Culbertson, and I am the Compliance Manager at InCheck. Welcome to the May 2023 edition of InCheck's Compliance Update Vlog. As always, the vlog briefly features some recent legal updates that affect background screening and the hiring process. My intention, as always, is to provide you with high-level summaries so that you can take that information back to your teams and legal counsel for further review. Okay, let's get started with an update in relation to Form I-9. On May 4th, 2023, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and Immigration and Customs Enforcement announced that the COVID-19 temporary flexibilities for Form I-9, which allows employers to virtually inspect identity and employment eligibility documentation, will end on July 31st, 2023. Employers must complete in-person physical document inspections for employees whose documents were inspected remotely during the temporary flexibilities by August 30th, 2023. The Form I-9 must be updated to indicate in the additional information field that the employer physically examined the documents, along with the date of the examination and the individual who performed the physical inspection. Next, I want to quickly highlight an update to a ban-the-box law. On April 24th, 2023, Chicago amended its ban-the-box ordinance. Among other things, the updated ordinance prohibits employers from using a person's conviction record as a basis to refuse to hire unless an exception applies, such as when there is a substantial relationship between one or more of the criminal offenses in the person's conviction record and the employment sought, or when the granting of employment would involve an unreasonable risk to property or to the safety or welfare of specific individuals or to the general public. Further, in the event the applicant is subject to an adverse employment decision based on an applicant's conviction history, the ordinance requires employers to follow strict pre-adverse action and final adverse action notification requirements. Next, we will conclude today's vlog by looking at a few updates that may impact employers' drug testing policies. On May 2nd, 2023, the Department of Transportation, or DOT, published a final rule that amended its regulated industry drug testing program to include oral fluid testing. Although the final rule is effective June 1st, 2023, for an employer to implement oral fluid testing under the DOT's regulation, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services will need to certify at least 2 laboratories for oral fluid testing, which has not yet been done. DOT-regulated employers can access these new regulations in the Federal Register at 88 FR 27596. And last, I want to highlight 2 recreational marijuana laws. First, Delaware recently legalized recreational marijuana. Notably, the law does not contain any employment protections for legalized recreational use. Indeed, the law states that nothing in the law is intended to impact or impose any requirement or restriction on employers with respects to terms and conditions of employment, including but not limited to accommodation, policies, or discipline. And second, Washington passed Senate Bill 5123, which generally prohibits employers from discriminating against a person in the initial hiring for employment if the discrimination is based upon the person's use of cannabis off the job and away from the workplace, or an employer-required pre-employment drug screening test that has found the person to have had non-psychoactive cannabis metabolites in their hair, blood, urine, or other bodily fluids. The law takes effect on January 1st, 2024. That will do it for me. Thank you for joining me again for this May 2023 edition of the Compliance Updates.